Listen, we feel the holiday spirit out here, and it is just so much fun roasting marshmallows, seeing the lights, getting in the holiday cheer, and spraying it with one another. You don't want to miss out on Magic of Lights here at Alabama Adventure. Please come on out. You have some time until January 4th. Get your photo with Santa until Christmas Eve. He's got a busy night that night, but we'll have more coming up right here on Weather Extra, live out here at Alabama Adventure. Meteorologist Tania Michelle, WBRC 6 News on your side.
All right, it looks like a lot of fun out there, and certainly want to check out the Magic of Lights. Always fun to get out and look at the Christmas lights this time of year, and you still have some time. Christmas 8 days away, and it's interesting all the temperature changes that we're going to see over the next 8 days. We're going to have the warm up tomorrow, colder for the weekend, and then we start to warm up again by Christmas. New Year, 15 days away before we're talking 2025. That may be after this weekend. We get into the year 2025 before we see the next big surge of really cold air. So a lot of changes on the way. And of course, one of the big questions with Christmas time coming up is where are we going to see snow this year? And well, for us, we're not expecting a white Christmas, but this comes as the chance of a white Christmas may not be so good for us, but not just for our area. Temperatures could likely be up to 15 degrees above normal for much of the country on Christmas Day, with unseasonable warmth out to the west, even though most of the country could still see some snow, especially to the east. And you saw on my map there, areas to the north might, of course, the high plains, those typical spots. The days leading up to Christmas could be much drier than normal, but things can and will likely change. So stay tuned to First Alert Weather Extra and the First Alert Weather app for the latest on that holiday forecast. I don't expect any snowy surprises, though, but that doesn't mean rain, and snow isn't likely for the rest of the week across the country, as meteorologist Matt Daniel joins us now with the latest on traveling for the holidays and what you can expect as we get ready to, or before you get ready to board the plane.
Hard to believe Christmas is just, a week away going into tomorrow. So I know a lot of people are probably having plans on traveling to see family and friends. So let's give you a little bit of a travel forecast starting with tomorrow. We've been tracking this cold front that's going to be making its way in here tomorrow. That could give us a chance for some rain and a few storms across the southeast. Also seeing some snow in parts of the Great Lakes. So if you want a white Christmas, that's probably the place to go going into the middle part of next week. But the central United States looking pretty quiet. A little activity across the Rockies and as you go in the Pacific Northwest. So if there's any airport or air travel delays, look for the yellows, reds, and purples. That's where we could see some issues. So there could be some minor concerns along the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic. Showing Nashville may have some delays with some rain and some storms. And then as you go up towards Boise in that area, you could see some snow or some rain concerns. Then as we go into your Thursday, notice more snow across the Great Lakes. So no doubt there's going to be some issues. Definitely colder up there with temperatures below freezing. Definitely cooler across the southeast as that front moves through, but the East Coast looking pretty good. And the only travel concerns we're seeing for Thursday, up across perhaps the Dakotas, and then as you go into the Minneapolis area, could see some minor issues as well. And then as we go into your Friday, a good bit of the country looking fairly quiet, but it's going to be significantly cooler across a good bit of the country. There could be some snow across parts of the Carolinas and into western Virginia and also into the Northeast, so be mindful of that. And here's a look at some of those delays out there across the Southeast and the Northeast going into your Friday. So just make sure wherever you're traveling, monitor your First Alert Weather app. It'll keep you updated if there's any issues wherever you plan on going. Safe travels.
All right, thanks a lot there, Matt. And taking you to Louisiana now, some scary stuff here. This is where Lake Pontchartrain Causeway is open now after being shut down in both directions because of fog earlier today. It caused multiple crashes earlier this morning. The National Weather Service out of New Orleans saying that locations along and east of I-55 saw areas of fog, including coastal communities in Louisiana and Mississippi. There were several dense fog advisories. Between 40 to 50 vehicles are believed to have been involved, and multiple people were said to have been injured before the causeway was reopened. And before reopening, the officials stated there would be significant travel delays, of course, and drivers were told to consider other routes while workers worked hard out there in that foggy weather to clear the debris. And wow, earlier today, and you know, if you've ever traveled in New Orleans, you know that is quite the stretch there along that causeway. So don't go anywhere, because we could see some fog later on tonight. We're going to be talking more about that. And in 30 seconds, we bring you that holiday shopping forecast to talk about the environmental impacts of Christmas trees. We'll be right back. And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Right now we are not seeing wet weather on radar, but we do have temperatures as we go to AccuTrack. You can see still in the 60s. We did reach 70s across parts of our area today. I think tomorrow there's a chance we could touch 72 degrees. As far as rainfall timing, once again, just want to show you this. Tomorrow we will see some showers coming back, and then we're going to be dry through the weekend and into early next week. But here's the thing. If we go over to our rainfall accumulation map, I just want to show you this. This is the radar indicated rainfall totals, and you can see overnight last night most of the rain right there around a ½ inch to an inch in areas to the far north and northwest. Not as much wet weather, hardly anything the further south you go. So tomorrow it's going to be a similar setup. Most of the rain is going to be happening to the north, and as this slides south, we'll see a lot of that wet weather dissipate. I know we need the rain to the south. We still have those drought conditions in place, but that's what we're going to be tracking. And again, I'll look at the timing, and you'll see right here the chance for showers looks like by lunchtime to 2 o'clock, far northwest areas, 2 to 4 central areas. And then if we have some rain that holds together, some of that could reach us around Rockford, Ashland, Clinton, Alexander City 4 until 5 o'clock. But it will turn colder as we go into the day on Thursday. But as we get closer to Christmas Day, you may be wondering about the environmental impact of your Christmas tree. Once it's time to take it down and pack it away for the season, meteorologist Cynthia Rodriguez spoke with Mackenzie Sexton of Frosty's Choose and Cut out of North Carolina on this and why on these environmental impacts and why real Christmas trees are more sustainable choice for our planet.
Real Christmas trees can be recycled back into the planet. You know, they can be used for playground, like the playground chips in playground. A lot of them are put into, you know, wood saws or meal chips to make that. A lot of them are put into ponds or to streams for fish habitats. A lot of them are actually used on riverbanks and streams for preserving the banks and securing those banks and stuff. There's so many different uses for real Christmas trees. And even if you do put it in the landfill, it's fine because it's going to, you know, decompose naturally. It's a natural product. So real Christmas trees are truly the true green option for buying a Christmas tree, which is a misconception sometimes. And we're really trying to get that word out there because it's so environmentally friendly. It's so healthy for the environment. We pump out so much oxygen every year, enough for, you know, thousands of people to breathe every year. So it's definitely the greener, the safer, healthier option versus a fake Christmas tree.
All right, how about the shopping forecast over the next several days? Well, big thumbs up through the weekend. Again, we'll have a chance for some showers tomorrow. Still no significant severe weather threat or anything like that. So if you do have plans tomorrow, just grab the umbrella. You may run into some showers during the afternoon, but you can see through the weekend and right on into Monday. Again, looks like plenty of sunshine each day and colder temperatures by this weekend. We'll see those highs back into the 40s. But for those of you who may be doing a little more online shopping than in person, well, you may be wondering about the process behind how you get your packages from online to your front door. Your Josh Gant joins us now with an inside look of the United States Postal Service facility and how they're preparing to bring the holiday season to you.
From the moment a package arrives at this U.S. Postal Service processing facility in Birmingham, it's put into a machine that sends it down a big conveyor belt and then eventually drops it into the right bin and back on a truck to be delivered locally or around the country. Last year, just in Birmingham, USPS handled about 6 million packages. They're on track to see up to 7 million this year.
We saw our dock when we walked in, it's empty, and as soon as we unload the trucks, we're putting it right on the machine. It's getting processed right now within an hour of hitting our docks.
Speeding up operations is one of the things Curtis says USPS has been working on under its Delivering for America plan released in 2021. A $40 billion investment with a goal of modernizing the post office nationwide.
We made our post office more efficient. We stabilized our staffing. We've hired about 7,500 peak employees, which is the least amount that we've probably ever hired in the post office. Since 2020, we're tripled our volume that we can handle, up to 60 million packages a day.
Up to 300,000 of those packages coming through Birmingham every day, each sorted left and right in this small city that never sleeps.
Ahead, we continue to talk about the drop in temperatures expected for that first day of winter and how you should prepare for a winter storm. We'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra. And welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra. Before the break, we were talking about winter safety. We're not expecting any winter weather. I just want to stress that. But we are going to be giving you some tips as we get closer to the winter season, talking about some wintry weather. Of course, we may end up having a run-in over the next few months, so we need to always be prepared. We're going to talk a lot about that coming up, though. Right now, what we need to be prepared for, some foggy weather overnight tonight. Could be dense in some areas, unseasonably mild tomorrow with some rainfall. And then we have freezing temperatures coming back for the weekend. No precipitation, but it will be a lot colder by Saturday and Sunday with freezing conditions. But right now, not a lot of rain, but there's a couple of areas you can see that's actually a light shower that's moving across Cherokee County, Hamilton to Fayette, Aliceville. We're dry across West Alabama, central areas. This is just ground clutter in here. Thing we've got to watch out for because it is so mild. We have these higher dew points as overnight tonight as this temperature cools off and approaches the dew point. We'll see some fog development, and that, as we talked about before the break, not only an issue for us, we've been seeing it all across the region. So if you're getting a head start on traveling for like Christmas holidays coming up tomorrow, just keep that in mind if you're leaving out early tomorrow morning. But by 10 o'clock tonight, still not seeing much as far as wet weather goes, but low clouds, some fog around early in the day, temperatures in the 50s overnight. And then here comes that rain I was telling you about. This is lunchtime tomorrow, starts to move into the northwest as this first enters our area. There may be a storm with this, but then it weakens. Notice as it moves further south. So by the time 2, 3 o'clock, when this is moving through Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Aniana, Gadsden, it will be sort of dissipating. And then by the time this reaches southeast areas by tomorrow night, it's just scattered showers. But that said, you'll want to hold on to that umbrella just in case you encounter some of that light rain later in the day. But notice that we will have some colder weather moving in, a front moving in, but it's more of a gradual change, just not seeing the upper air support with this system to generate a significant risk for storms, thankfully. But I know for areas south, we could use a little bit more rain, but we dry out through the weekend, and the really cold air doesn't get here until Saturday and Sunday. And again, that's when we're talking about lows down in the 20s and frost and freezing temperatures and even a light freeze early Monday morning before we start to see those temperatures rebound into the Christmas holiday. And as we sort of go beyond the 7-day forecast here, looking ahead towards Christmas, you can see that we do have some rain that's going to be moving in. So we are seeing still that possibility on Christmas Day, and this is as the milder air starts to build back in. A chance for some showers, and some of that wet weather could be around during the day on the 25th. Right now, Christmas Eve looks dry, but it looks like that chance of rain there for Wednesday. And then after that, some showers, temperatures in the 60s. And it looks like, again, temperatures stay above average through the rest of the year until we get closer to the end of the year and the start of 2025. Looks like we could see a more significant system out there that could bring some rain, some storms before things cool off. But that's what we're going to be watching in the long range. Again, this weekend looks very dry with highs in the 40s, lows down into the 20s. But as we go to meteorologist Megan Thomas, though snow isn't in the forecast over the next 10 days, it's always best to be prepared this time of year for the possibility of wintry weather or icy conditions. And right now to talk more about this, meteorologist Megan Thomas joins us.
So while it may not be snowing here, other parts of the country have been seeing some of their first snow, and it got us thinking, what happens when, snow happens and we get these big snowstorms across the country? What happens to the technology? We need things to charge our phone, computers, and way to access and talk to people. So that's why I'm going to bring in our friend Eric Plam from SEMO. He is the president, and he's actually in Reno, where they just picked up one of their first snows of the season. And so, Eric, talk to me about SEMO and what it does.
Hi, Megan. So SEMO is a provider of Wi-Fi communication services. So we create a line of products that help people to stay connected, whether they're at home or traveling.
So tell me, okay, when we have these big snowstorms that come through and can knock out power for days, weeks, I mean, here in Alabama, we all remember 2014 Snowmageddon. I mean, people didn't have power for days on end. What can people do to put in their technology to go safety bag?
Yeah, so this is really important, Megan. So whether you're facing a storm or fire, flood, or earthquake, there are two things that can really go wrong with the infrastructure around you. One is cell towers can go down, and that could leave you without your smartphone. And the other thing that can happen is power can go out. And so it's really important for everybody to think about what would happen in an emergency. How would I stay connected with my friends and my family and the media and authorities? These are all important groups to stay in touch with. And so you've got to think about that in advance a little bit. So there are a number of things you can do to prepare. One of the most simple things is just at least have a weather radio so that you can listen to your favorite meteorologist. That's very important so you know what to expect. But also you want to stay connected. And if you have to, for example, leave your home with your family because there's some kind of a disaster, you want to make sure you're staying connected. And if your smartphone's not working because of a dead battery or because the local tower is out, you need an alternative. And so one of those alternatives is our Solus Go product, which gives you both a power bank and Wi-Fi access.
And of course, we're going to be watching that long-range forecast closely. Not seeing any threats for winter weather at this time, although again, we have the colder temperatures coming up for this weekend. But winter begins at 3:20 a.m., the winter solstice, early Saturday morning. So we are just getting started. And keep in mind, we can have wintry weather as late as April. It snowed here one time in April during the 80s. So some wild weather certainly as we go through the winter season. But we have that final check on your forecast and a look at some of your weather pictures sent in on the First Alert Weather app. I'll see you back right here after the break for more Weather Extra.